So, now back from Disneyland and out for a lovely walk, which is great. So, I'm still not feeling great, and Disneyland didn't feel great either. I was feeling really fatigued and going to the loo a lot the whole time we were there. So, I did a 1 mile race just before we went, and that did not go to plan. I'm so out of shape compared to I was, both in terms of probably the weight I'm carrying and my running fitness, and my enthusiasm for running has dropped a bit at the moment, and that's fine, you know, these things ebb and flow. So my goal to get back to sub 17 shape is probably on hold at the moment, which is fine. However, I don't want to lose too much fitness, and I need to find something to motivate me. And I've obviously got my op coming up in just over 2 weeks, which I shall document and see how that goes. And I've got a blood test on Monday to look at my creatinine levels and see if they've finally come down or not. But either way, I'll be in touch with the doctors on Monday to try and get a referral to gastroenterology to get my gut issues looked at, because there's something wrong going on there. As I went 25 times in the 5 days we were out in France, but to be honest, that's not that different to the preceding 2 weeks. So yeah, things aren't great, even though I am well and truly over my Campylobacter infection in terms of the issues that caused of going 20 plus times a day. So that's, you know, that's still the initial big setback, was that infection. Though I have had some element of fatigue and what have you since, I don't know, like November last year, and I was running low 17s pretty much since December through to, well, April, early April, when I got the infection. So trying to find out and work out what will motivate me and keep me going. And a walk seemed like a good place to do that, because walking is one of the things. So I'm going to start tracking all my walking and see how quickly I can get to the length of the UK. I believe it's about 600 miles. And then I'll see if I can bring that down on a sort of rolling daily basis to see how quickly overall I can cover the distance to the UK. That would be challenge number one. And I might extend the distance, I don't know, different countries depending on how it goes and how my motivation goes. Yeah, so challenge one is how far I can walk in a rolling year, I guess, but I'll probably have other rolling segments in that to see how fast I can walk a 600-mile distance or whatever. And that, we'll see whether that motivates me or not, but being in summer helps. Goal number two will be to do stair climbing, so go up and down my stairs at home and see how quickly I can effectively scale Everest, which I calculated as about 3,300, I think it was, times up my stairs. So if I can do approximately 100 times up the stairs for 33 days, then I can do it in 33 days. Obviously, I've got my op in a couple of weeks, so I won't realistically do it in 33 days unless I get on top of it. And I've just started sort of training, so to speak, for it. I've done 15 today. I'll hopefully do another sort of 10 when I get back, and just start building it up before the op. And I'll feel that in my quads, and that can only be a good thing. In terms of running wise, I'm going to try something different and see if I can work on the shorter stuff, maybe 400, 800 meters, and just see how that goes. Can I get quicker? I'll still try and do my Monday running club session, but honestly don't know how that's going to go. Evenings tend to be one of the worst times for my fatigue and gut issues, so yeah, I might have to have a chat and see what I can do. But my wife's getting back into running as well, having taken it easy for the last couple of months when I've been ill, so I will probably be out running with her at least 3 miles a day. And I'll have the school run, which I will walk run, and I probably will then include those towards my walking target. And park run, I will hopefully get back to it and jog it, but my local is hoping to convert to its slower summer route, so at least the pressure's off in terms of me trying to run quick times, and I will just do it as a social, and that's all good. So yeah, 3 of my goals there. So that's walking as far as I can, climbing as many stairs as I can, and some short-ish, middle distance-ish. I guess the 800 is more realistic, probably the 400 for me, running. That's some of my fitness goals. I'm hoping to stick in a load of strength training as well, which should help with weight management, which is always an issue for me. A lot of people that have not had metabolic health issues, I guess, or been massively overweight. I mean, I was 20 stone, so yeah, people struggle to realise and to think, oh, he's got an eating disorder because I won't eat carbs, or I won't, yeah, I'll do intermittent fasting or even slightly longer fasting. And I do get comments saying, okay, on YouTube or whatever on the blog, saying that sounds like you've got an eating disorder. And I probably do. I don't know, to some extent. Not, I don't know. So I've just listened to an audiobook, and that person had severe anorexia and stuff, and that's, you know, nothing like that, obviously. But I tend to binge eat when I'm eating lots and not in a good place. So I think I comfort eat, and I think that's probably what I'm guilty of. So I'm going to try intermittent fasting. I'm going to try and stick to a 4-hour window. I'm not going to beat myself up if I can't. And I'm going to try and stick to carnivore-ish. I won't be quite a strict carnivore because, since that infection, for some reason, I've just not been able to stomach burgers. Just can't face them. So I'm going to be having maybe like fish or chicken cooked in some basic chicken stock, which is incredibly low carb, and most ingredient is just sort of chicken broth. So it should be fine. It's pretty much carnivore. I might add some treats though for some flavour, or some very low carb sauce of some description. Like there's some good Nando sauce you can buy that's pretty clean. It's not perfect, but at the moment I'm not trying to be perfect because you can't always be perfect. I've more or less been perfect low carb other than when I've gone on holidays for the last 2 years, and pretty clean the year before that, and yeah, the last 6 months I've had my severe fatigue. So I just need a break, and as I say, this illness has triggered it, and in some way I need something different, something to mix it up a bit. So I will be trying to have some fatty meat, obviously ruminant meat, try and have some beef and some lamb, whether they be meatballs cooked in the same chicken stock or something. All homemade stuff, pretty much all homemade stuff, so I know what's in it. I'll say very few select other things, and a 4-hour window where I can. And that, I think, sums up everything on my list. As you can tell, I do this just by going out and talking. I'll try and set up some graphs and charts and things to be able to chart my progress. That's not sort of linked to my day job in some ways, but also not really. And hopefully this keeps me motivated. And obviously I'll document my progress with all my appointments. So I do have some pre-op appointments coming up. I've got a phone call this coming Thursday, and I then have the pre-op assessment in person at my local hospital on Friday. Can't remember the exact dates. And the op itself is due to be on June the 17th. Provided those pre-op assessments things go well enough. And on the 14th I've got an appointment with a dermatologist because I've got a red patch here under my eye that's been there for months. And yeah, I mean, having spoken to the GP, it's not unusual for people with gut issues to get skin issues. So we'll have to see how that goes. As I say, I'm going to speak to the doctors on Monday and flag up that we never heard back from gastroenterology for advice. Possibly seek another calprotectin test to see if my things are still inflamed and out of the normal range. And I've already got the blood test for the creatinine. It might be they want to do a wider panel of things. And I'll just see what happens. I say other symptoms I've got, such as the muscle cramps that I get. again can be indicative of malabsorption issues, and the fact that I had the folate deficiency earlier in this year as well, which, you know, a meat is a good source of folate, so my diet certainly wasn't the issue. So it surely must have been absorption, and again suggests something in the gut. I don't think it's anything, when I say more sinister, than something along the lines of EBD. I don't think IBD. I don't think it's anything like cancer or anything, because of how easily I can still gain weight. So after this Campylobacter infection, with a few weeks of relative inactivity, I've easily gained a stone, probably closer to 2. Knowing me, I'm not going to weigh myself this time. I'm going to track myself with a tape measure. I think that's a healthier way for me and my mindset, and hopefully I can get back in some of my slimmer clothes. I'm in some of the larger clothes that I've kept. I mean, at worst, I'm a 34-inch waist, absolute worst. Given where I've come from, being a 50-inch waist, and for many years I didn't get below 34, but I have been down to a 30-inch waist this year, and let's see how quickly I can get back there. I believe in all the things about fasting, and I follow the work of Jason Fung and that sort of thing, and I've got his complete book of fasting at home. I believe in evolutionary fitness, so I believe walking and rucking, so I'm going to do quite a lot of this with backpack on, with weights in it, to better stimulate my body, and again I believe follow what's evolutionary appropriate for us. So yeah, let's just see how it all goes. And it's great at this time of year. So it's sunny, it's warm, it's not too hot today. I have still got a jumper around my waist, bit of cloud in the sky, getting some vitamin D, and yeah, the hay fever's a bit of a pain, but other than that, it's all good. So thank you for anyone that's actually bothered to stick with this and watch it all. But if anything, I'm documenting it for my own purposes and for keeping myself in check. And hopefully people will comment and will ask me how I'm getting on, and that'll keep me on track. So I think that's everything for now. Thank you for watching, and if you've got any questions, please put in a comment or drop me an email and check out the blog or whatever. Cheers, bye.